Peacemaker Season 2 Episode 1 review. Let's get right into this. So yeah, I'm obviously aware that honestly pretty late doing this review, but honestly I was just catching up with Peacemaker. Yeah, that's right. I hadn't really seen all of it, so I had to watch it from the beginning, of course, just so that I was refreshing everything. And yeah, I finished the series, Season 1, that is, and it was great, but that's the point, man. It took me probably like, a day to finish it, so yeah, now we're here doing this review a bit later, but besides the point, just really want to talk about it, because honestly I love the series, and I just want to obviously just cover just the DCU in general, so yeah. Anyways, I'm going to get right into this now. And it was kind of nice just watching it, because now it's a continuation, essentially, and obviously Superman ties into this, which we'll get into later. But the first thing, I guess, let's talk about the Justice League retcon, because that starts up not even in the beginning of the episode. Oh, I mean, it is in the beginning, but it's not actually a part of the episode, because obviously it's a retcon. So, but yeah, so the scene originally in the ending, the final episode of Peacemaker Season 1, where obviously you see the whole crew there, and Peacemaker. Obviously, after the whole big, I guess, battle happens, you see them walking towards the Justice League, of course, and we have the old DCEU Justice League, and that got retcon, obviously, because we know that James Gunn's DCU is pretty much completely different. Okay, so it wouldn't have made sense, but they retcon it. So now they have it so that the first person is, well, if we're going from left to right, Mr. Terrific, and then we have obviously Superman, and that's now played by David. And then we also have, I'm trying to remember the exact order, and then we have Hawkgirl, and then we have Guy Gardner, obviously our Lantern, and then we have Supergirl, that was kind of, I mean, not surprising that she's going to be a part of it, but I was kind of surprised to see her there, like a bit. And I did kind of get spoiled for it, but still, it's kind of surprising. Like the facts in the recap, obviously, which they kind of had to do to replace the scene, and also it made me trip out, because I'm like, wait, am I tripping? I'm like, when they were showing the scene, the Green Lantern line, I'm like, wait, am I tripping? Like, it made me second guess. I'm like, is this like the Mandela effect type thing going on? But yeah, it's besides the point. And it does kind of play into it when you actually watch the episode, because yeah, well, we'll get into that as well. We'll get into the Justice Gang part as well. But yeah, so I know some people are triggered by that, but everyone that is just rational, they'll understand why that was done. Okay, it has to make sense. So that was the way to go about it. And there's a lot of questions going into obviously Peacemaker, because he was a part of the DCEU, and a lot of the stuff in there was tied to that. And obviously the Suicide Squad movie as well. So yeah, a lot of the old DC stuff was tied into that, so it was gonna be interesting to see how the show's gonna unfold in the DCU now, since it's connected, and obviously it's right after the events of Superman. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Anyways, now one of my favorite parts of Season 1 of Peacemaker was the fact, well, it was the quantum room in Peacemaker's dad's house. So like, I found it so cool. I'm like, damn, I wish they used it more. Like, they actually went more in depth, like explored it more. Well, luckily enough, it looks like a big theme of Season 2. Like, I feel like the main plot pretty much is literally going to be that room. And it is like, yeah, I feel like we saw more of this room in this episode alone than I feel like the entire all of Season 1 combined. Like, the amount of time that spent in this room was insane. But yeah, like, we literally saw Peacemaker explore more of it. Like, we're finally getting to know like what else goes on in there, because we're like, this is huge. This is huge. Right? It's literally like, it's like endless, right? So we're like, what's going on in there? And we do find out about that. We obviously see there's a lot of stuff. But yeah, but I'm just glad. I'll keep it at that for now, because I just have a whole bunch of notes to go through. But yeah, I just love the fact they expand on it, because that's one of my favorite parts. And then the next thing is that obviously the new intro. And it's kind of weird, because obviously, there's still like, I gotta get used to more and more, so as we watch more episodes, get used to it. And also when I watched Season 1, obviously that was like a binge, so it's easier to, I guess, like that one quicker. But for Season 2, it's a different type of vibe. But it ties into, I guess we can talk about the tone. But like the choreography as well, great in this. Nothing nothing to say about that. The choreography is good, is really good in both of them. But I just think the song selection. I don't know if I'm missing the song as much, but it does fit the tone. We'll probably see that later in the season. We already did see it in this first episode alone, where it's more like somber. You would think that everything would be on like a high right now because they, compared because the ending of Peacemaker season 1. But then again, you gotta remember in the ending also we had ramifications. We're seeing them now, ramifications from the whole Waller expose. The whole Operation Butterfly ramifications of just you're not supposed to, oh my god, because of Adebayo, right? She's exposed her mom, exposed the whole operation when she was not supposed to, and now everyone from the team has ramifications for that. And then just in general, even if some of them don't, technically everyone does, but also just no one's really happy. So the tone is more, that's what I'm saying, it's more somber. And it's pretty deep. It is very emotional. So, like, I know people that did get to watch the season early. The first, 5 episodes, because James Gunn's like, nah, I ain't letting anyone see 6, 7, or 8 yet. They all mentioned that this is more emotional, more, storytelling than humor. And yeah, like in episode 1, even like this episode for season 2, it was not as many jokes. And yeah, even the jokes that were there, I didn't think were, at least to me, they weren't like as funny compared to even, just comparing to season 1. But then again, it's only one episode, and the jokes we'll see. It's only one episode, so the humor thing's not a big deal to me, like if the jokes are hitting or not, because that happens. But besides the point, you can tell it's gonna be more, serious, emotional type of season, especially with especially with what's happening with Chris, what they explored in this episode. We can see that. And then also, we knew that the connection to Superman was going to be there. This is the next project. James Gunn literally kept, he just keeps on talking about that. And we did see a big theme, obviously, of James Gunn's DCU, which was explored in Superman, just to introduce it, is just metahumans. And then in the DCU, metahumans are like a thing, right? They're already, kind of like an established thing. So in Peacemaker, now you have to change it because it went from one universe to another. So now Peacemaker is they're just mentioning metahumans, and also it's because it's tied in, takes place after, right? What is it? Did they say 6 months? Was it 6 months after? Was it 6 months after the events in Superman? Something like that, but it's right after. Obviously, we know it's right after, so it makes sense. And there's a lot of things in this episode alone where they mention the continuity, pretty much, just stuff that happened to Superman. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting that they mentioned metahumans, and just, how some people view it as a threat, of course. And then we got, Crank Toys reference there, and then we saw, obviously, I think her name was White Rabbit or something. Saw that as well. And then Peacemaker enters the facility because he's talking to Adebayo. He's like, oh shoot, there's this big, I don't know, he's hell excited. This meeting he has. And then he goes in, and obviously we know it's a tryout for the Justice Gang, and it doesn't go well, to say the least. The Justice Gang, obviously, they have Hawkgirl, they have Guy Gardner, and then they have from his name? From blanking, Maxwell Lord, right? I might be wrong there, but they have him there as well, and the three of them are doing trials because Maxwell Lord also saw him in Superman as well. He is, like you said, he's funding the Justice Gang, and they're trying to find, new members and stuff, add on to the team, because as we know, the team is it's still in the early stages. They're still trying to develop it, and they don't know. They're interviewing him, asking him questions, and they don't like the responses. They're not taking him serious. They're saying all these backhanded comments, and they don't know that Peacemaker can actually hear him. So it comes out it's like a funny bit. I thought it was pretty cool, just seeing the Justice Gang, just seeing, that's the biggest link between Superman and Peacemaker, or stuff from Superman that went to Peacemaker, is just having the Justice Gang there. That's the biggest connection, and it's just cool to see them. cool to see them. Also, we saw Peacemaker and Superman as well, so that connection. And just a lot of stuff. Like, this whole scene is like, oh shoot, yeah, like it would be confusing if you didn't watch Superman. You'd be like, what the hell is going on? What the hell is going on? Because I feel like out of context, you would at least get the sense that, oh shoot, I missed something, right? Which is obviously, written intentionally like that. And then, yeah, bro, he just leaves. He's like, no, man, I'm not having this. This is disrespect. And then the next thing I was talking about, ramifications of outing Waller. Obviously, Adebayo did that, and now the whole gang is just, bro, the whole gang is just screwed up. John's now he's getting forced by Rick Flag Sr. to just pretty much stalk Peacemaker, and then he's we'll talk about that later as well. He's seeing some crazy stuff. That's the next stuff we'll talk about. What else? Bro, everyone Adebayo, she's like, bro, she pretty much got blackballed, right? Oh man, what else? Let me think. Yeah, she got blackballed. What else is going on here? Emilia, she's bro, she got it the worst, to be honest, because she literally can't get anything, bro. At any agency, just blackballed from everything. She probably got it the worst. And it's just Waller, bro. Waller still has pull, even though she is allegedly getting justice because of the Congress hearings, whatever the hell. She still has pull, which is what also Emilia said as well. What was it to the doctor, right? So I feel like throughout the season we're going to see that, and then also seeing the effect of the ramifications. So like we know what the consequences are, but then we're also seeing how the characters are actually reacting to it. Like just having breakouts, kind of just like they can't handle it. They're literally having mental breakdowns, lashing out. Like you can go to the bar scene as an example. Yeah, but it just seems like no one's happy. Even if you talk about Vigilante, he's like, bro, he hates his job. He's still working the same job, of course, but he just hates it. And you also see like a time progression, a whole bunch of off-screen progression, which is expected because it's been a while, so it makes sense. Plus the whole DCU thing, but there's a sense of time passing, like a significant amount, which I honestly like. From actually like Peacemaker season 1 to now, so that was pretty cool, and it just makes like you can see it because, like, for example, for Vigilante, you see that the guy that he used to work with, as he said, is now like the manager. So now he's his boss, which is, yeah, it makes it for an interesting dynamic, which we'll see. I have a feeling that Vigilante's gonna like take him out or something eventually. I wouldn't be surprised about that. And then what else? And then we had the crazy scene, bro. I can't believe this, bro. What is, bro? Chris is a freak, man. And then obviously we see John. He has to see that as well and tell Rick Flag Sr. about that. Just, yeah, bro, just crazy stuff. Freak activities there. That was like boys asking, like, bro, what the hell is this? Yeah. And then we got was it Rick Flag Sr. He mentioned Arkham. That's a pretty little cool thing. And then I think he also mentioned, or someone, was it him or someone else? I think it's someone else. They mentioned the events with Superman. They name dropped Lex and just kind of mentioned what he did. And then they also mentioned, of course, Metropolis. So another connection to Superman. And then, like I said, we saw Peacemaker being investigated. By, what was it, A.R.G.U.S, which Rick Flag Sr. is like the director of. And like I said, Rick Flag Sr. connection there is to Superman, and then also their connection is the Suicide Squad because Peacemaker killed his son, right? So there's another, I guess, layer to that. And yeah, they're not letting go of Peacemaker, and then they're getting someone else because they're about to get someone else to investigate Peacemaker because they don't trust John. Because again, they know that John has a relationship with Peacemaker, and also I guess they just don't think he's capable of it. So we'll see how that develops later, or just throughout the season. And then the interdimensional blip they mentioned as well, which was another, unless I misinterpreted, that was another Superman reference as well with the whole Ultraman situation, Superman. What else? Yeah, I already talked about that. I already talked about Tone. That what is that? I don't mispronounce that. Amps, right? We know that James Gunn, he talked about that as well. So I'm like, okay, that's an interesting mention as well. And then lastly, the ending. We see this connects to the quantum room, whatever you want to call it. The terminology. Peacemaker, he's just, bro. Chris is depressed. He's just like, man, he's still so sad because he always thinks about it. His family. He thinks about, even though his dad was a scumbag, still thinks about him, but mainly because of his dad's connection to his brother, the death of his brother, that is. And then you just see how he goes when he gets drunk. He gets sad, he gets drunk, and then he goes into like the other realm, and we see him the first time he went in the beginning of the episode. He gets caught by his dad. That's not actually his dad. It's like a different dimension type thing. Dad, like variant, and then he comes back, and then he just keeps. I guess we see it. He keeps on doing it, and it's literally written like that, shown like that. He keeps on doing it, and eventually you keep on doing that. You mess with, these alternate, I guess, dimensions, whatever timelines you want to call it. It catches up, and then look what happened. Yeah. It was fine, but he was in there for too long, and also just messing things up. You're not even supposed to talk. Like that's just like a general rule of thumb. But anyways, he starts exploring too much. He overstays his visit, and then the actual Peacemaker of that, I guess, world comes, and he fights him. He literally fights him, and then Chris narrowly gets out, but then he forgets to close the door because the gadget that was used, by the other Peacemaker from the other dimension, it's just like ripping his back, shredding. I'm like, that's a pretty cool gadget there. But besides the point, he forgets to close the door, and that'll be major in a second. But then we see, obviously, the other Peacemaker falling through with his jetpack, whatever, and then he's kind of like just pummeling our Peacemaker. But yeah, our Peacemaker then just kills him. He just kind of, I'm trying to remember exactly what happened. But long short, the other Peacemaker ends up having his body go through, like just going up top on the ceiling and going through the thing, essentially. Okay, and he just dies like that. He falls down afterwards. He's just dead. Okay, he's just dead. It was accidental. It just happened. Okay. So now here's the thing. Now he's even more screwed because I don't even know if he knows the door. He left it open. That's the first thing. The way I interpreted was that he didn't know he left the door open. So they'll probably come out there because keep in mind the Peacemaker's family from the other, I guess, dimension, whatever you want to call it. They're gonna be looking for him. They're gonna be like, "What is going on?" And then if they see the door open, especially, they're gonna go looking for him. And I feel there's significance. They kept on focusing on the photos and stuff like that. The trio, right? Obviously, we see his brother, who's aged up in that, because it's a different universe. It was like if everything actually went well, if his dad was, I guess, a good guy, then his brother would have lived technically, right? That's the type of thing. So that's why he kept on going there. It got him in his feels because it's like if everything went right, it's like a what if type thing. But anyways, there's ramifications. The family's gonna come looking for him. That's the thing. So it's kind of like a WTF ending because you're like, damn. So he's obviously killed. He's eliminated himself. So yeah, well, the ramifications of this are going to be pretty insane. And I'm interested to see how this might be. I don't know. We'll see what else is in here, but I'm curious to see how the gang gets back together in this. But anyways, I'm kind of rambling here. This is a long review. Let me know what you think down below. Honestly, I enjoyed this episode quite a bit. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you next one. Peace.